Hey everybody, welcome to the Fandom Omnibus podcast. My name is Chancellor D. In this episode, I will be going over the most recent episode of The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 5, entitled The Jedi. Not only will I be going over the episode, I also will be giving my thoughts on where I think the series is headed as a whole. So I invite you to stick around and enjoy the show. So before I get started, I will tell you I will be discussing the episode in spoiler territory. So if you haven't already seen the episode, I highly encourage you to watch The Jedi so you can take in the epicness that we all got to see on Disney Plus. It was amazing, and I highly encourage you to watch it. So without further ado, let's go. So the episode starts with Ahsoka Tano, the amazing Padawan, former Jedi who grew up in training under Anakin Skywalker, fought in the Clone Wars, survived Order 66, helped out with our Ghost crew in Star Wars Rebels, and now here she is, you know, long after Return of the Jedi, and she is on a mission of her own. Is amazing to see her. And Rosario Dawson did a great job of bringing her to life. I can't wait to see more, but she feels so much like Ahsoka that we got to see on the anime series, respectively, of both Clone Wars movie series, Rebel series, and even how she's depicted in the novel. Like it just feels so well done that Dave Filoni and team, Favreau, everyone behind it did an amazing job, and Rosario did an amazing job as well. But seeing Ahsoka with her white lightsabers, battling droids, it just feels amazing, and it's a dream to finally see her in live action form. So I'm very happy that she's here. But her presence in the episode is not just for fan service. It serves a purpose. The Mando and the child come to Corvus after Bo-Katan tells them to go find Ahsoka Tano because he's in search of finding a Jedi to train the child, or Mando. And he ends up finding Ahsoka, and they have like a nice battle of their own. And he stops her by saying her name, and it just evolves from there. The quick strikes of the lightsaber on the Beskar armor, and the deflecting everything. It was magical. Is they kind of had that feeling of seeing a new hope for the first time. In this because Ahsoka's one of my favorite characters, but they quickly learn to work together, and through their meetings, especially with Ahsoka talking to the child, we learn the child's name is Grogu. And if that wasn't enough, it was also learned that he was there and trained in the Jedi Temple and survived Order 66 as well. And someone, we don't know who, took him out of the Jedi Temple. That's all fascinating stuff that I know we all are going to learn eventually. But uh, I just I'm excited for all that. But Ahsoka is there on Corvus of a mission of her own, and we later find out toward the end of the episode, after her battle with the Magistrate, that she is looking for none other than Grand Admiral Thrawn, who was the main antagonist, or one of the main antagonists of Star Wars Rebels of seasons 3 and 4, where the last time we saw Thrawn was on his Star Destroyer with Jedi Ezra Bridger. Now, for those of y'all who haven't seen Rebels, I highly encourage you to go back and watch that show, or watch Clone Wars first, the movie series, and then watch Rebels, because there's so much back and forth, callbacks in Rebels. But Ezra is keeping Thrawn at bay with the Force and trying to make sure his friends are safe on the planet Lothal as they're fighting the Empire. And the Purrgil, which are space whales that travel through hyperspace, uh, they are called to Lothal and actually pull Thrawn's Star Destroyers into hyperspace along with Ezra Bridger. And this is essential because uh, the last meeting that Ezra has with Ahsoka, he asks her to come and find him in the future. Uh, there's a lot of timey-wimey space things there. I don't want to spoil a lot, but in their last message meeting with each other is that he asked her to come find him in the future. So at the end of Rebels, we see Ahsoka come to Lothal, and she picks up uh, Sabine Wren, who is our main Mandalorian character in Rebels, who is also, made a promise to Ezra to bring him home, so they can go off into space together to go find Ezra. Now, we didn't know where Thrawn went. We didn't know where Thrawn and Ezra went when they blasted into hyperspace at the end of Rebels. It was always just a mystery that they're out there somewhere. But now that Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn, it highly suggests that Thrawn is out there. He's back to his own old ways of doing things for the Empire, and that also says that Ezra is out there as well. So with all that being said, we know Ahsoka is keeping her promise and trying to bring Ezra home. But what does that say for this Mandalorian as a whole? I don't know. Like, it could lead to a spin-off Ahsoka series, which would be great. You could see more of her, see Rosario, like every episode or something. But we know this is not their show or her show. But there's so much that could be said. But Thrawn, he was created by the author Timothy Zahn. Um, who originally created Thrawn in the Thrawn series, and it's an amazing series. And I actually met Timothy Zahn last year in 2019 at a convention, and we had a great conversation about his creation of Thrawn and what he was looking for in creating the character, and just kind of hearing his thoughts about someone who is a very methodical character who can see a lot of things in terms of strategy and is good for what he does, and especially with Emperor Palpatine picking Thrawn to um, be a admiral in the Empire says a lot. And that's one conversation I'm going to treasure, meeting someone who is influential in advancing a property that I love so much as the Star Wars. But I highly recommend you all go and watch Rebels, watch Clone Wars, read Timothy Zahn's books, and just really take in the breadth that we have of the vast Star Wars universe. But uh, this whole episode is actually going to be one of my favorites rewatchable episodes going forward because season one of The Mandalorian, it was great. More Star Wars on TV. And then when we heard that, it was rumored that Ahsoka was going to be there, that Bo-Katan was going to be there, portrayed by Katie Sackhoff, who voiced her in Clone Wars and Rebels, respectively. This, seeing them on screen. And then even, seeing the dark saber at the end of season one of Mandalorian, and then um, Gideon, who has the dark saber, it just brings so much to question about everything as a whole. Like, where are we going with this series? But this episode, as it stands, is an amazing episode. It advances the series so much, and really throws a lot of things out there, like where is Strawn? What is he doing? Where is Ezra? You know, where is Sabine? Where is the rest of the Ghost crew? And we know Hera's with the rebellion. Is Commander Rex still with the rebellion? All these questions that we all want to know. These I want to know, but watching this episode again, like, will be amazing because we even got to see, Kyle Reese in the episode, the father of John Connor in the Terminator franchise. And there was just so many Easter eggs in the episode as a whole, seeing Mirai, the owl that's Ahsoka's companion, and I'll let you discover that for yourself if you haven't already seen where Mirai comes from. And seeing the loaf cat, like the random loaf cat is kind of wandering around, and there's just so much to love about it. But this episode is great. It could just be a standalone thing, but it pushes the series as a whole. But where do you think that the series is going with The Mandalorian? Personally, I feel like now that we know that Thrawn is out there, that Gideon is probably working for Thrawn. Gideon, with his you know studying of the midichlorians and um, taking blood from Grogu before, in season one, and seeing that he has the Dark Troopers. It kind of brings the question, like, is he working for himself? Is he working for Thrawn? I think he's working for Thrawn. I mean, at some point, I can kind of see all of these plot lines coming ahead, and there being a big battle, especially with the weaponry that Bo-Katan and crew took a few episodes back from the Empire. That I think we're going to get a lot that's going to come to head. But what do you all think? Let us know. Let us know in the comments below, and we'd love to hear from you. So, with that said, I'm going to wrap this episode up and say thanks for watching. Please subscribe, click that notification bell, subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Fandom Omnibus podcast.